Hi Jenny, hi Dom, hi future self, and hi everyone else. How you doing? Good to see you. This is a really quick, short day five of my accountability program. Making sure that I'm reading a book every day and listening to an audio every day. Um, and the audio I had to listen today was by Mark Nathan about world domination. And the book I'm reading at the moment is Legacy by James Kerr, about the All Blacks and how they still one of the most successful sporting teams of any sport ever. To have an 86% win rate's pretty bloody amazing. To have that consecutively over years, yeah, it's phenomenal. So, um, the key things I've taken out from today. So, with regards to the audio by Mr. Mark Nathan, the big things he talked about was there's three things that you. Sorry, there's a lot of people who go through life who have big dreams and passions. They want to do some amazing things in their lives, and they want to have these world dominating sort of effects. We want to have impact, regardless of who we are. We want to impact other people's lives to some degree, whether that be our families or our own, or our friends, or even the greater world. But there are some of us who really genuinely want to have a massive impact in the world. Um, and there's a few roadblocks that we need to be aware of if we're ever going to achieve that. And so he went through those three that he had to offer. The first one was before you can dominate the world, you have to dominate your world. And I think that comes down to the concept that you have to be able to dominate your own mind. You have to have control and understanding of yourself, understanding your self image, the way you talk to yourself, the way you talk to others. You need to develop your humility, your commitment, all those personal development things that we've been working on for the last couple of weeks, but also the last couple of years. And also the things that are consistently being referred to in Peter Mac, so in the Team Mac and the, I don't know where I keep getting Peter Mac from, the Team Mac and a lot of the books we're reading at the moment, all comes back down to that concept of developing your character. And once you've dominated and controlled that, then in that world, you can look at actually taking on the rest of the world. Because if you can't look after and control your world, then how are you going to control the rest of the worlds out there, held by other people? The second thing he talked about was the importance of having your own income and having control over that income. So, we've heard quite often before about the importance of having your own income, whether or not that makes you a slave to someone else if you are an employer. Um, if you're self-employed, the flexibility, but the inflexibility it also provides in terms of income. And then obviously the benefits of building your own business. And so Mark Nathan referred to this concept of ongoing money, or ongoing income, I should say, and the difference between ongoing and active income. And active income being something like, for example, you're working at a job, and the more hours you put in, the more money you make. Um, Whereas ongoing income is more along the lines of you build an asset that the more you work on it, the more it continues to provide an ongoing source of income in the future. It doesn't mean you can't do anything about it. You have to. Sorry, it doesn't mean. Yeah, I think the concept is that you can't just drop it. Like, you have to allow it to passively work in the background, but you have to work on it to continue to make it grow and to keep it maintained, to keep it working like any business does. Um, yeah, but if you're not in control of your own finances, then you won't have control over basically your time, and therefore you won't have control over very many things if majority of your time is locked up doing things for other people rather than yourself. And then the last thing he had to point out in terms of world domination is don't lose the dream. So there's a lot of things that you'll go through in life where you will be challenged to let go of the dream, live a normal life, live a boring life. don't listen to that. Listen to the calling deep within. Listen to the bellows of your soul telling you that the thing you need to do most right now is listen to them and act upon them to make that wonderful life you know you can have happen and to continue to spread your potential. Now, quickly getting on to the first chapter that we've read so far of the Legacy book thus far. We've only gotten through chapter 1 so far, which is Sweep the Sheds. And the really big concept we got out of it was along the lines of humility. So Ty Lopez talks about this in one of his, I think his third, I think it happens, it's in the first first episode that he talks in the 67 Steps, but it's also in his third one in particular, because he talks about Michael Jordan. And both concepts, both whether it be the All Blacks or Michael Jordan, both of them talked about the idea of character building, and that character building built around this idea of humility. And it's not the idea of humility in the sense that, oh, you know, I'm humble about how much money I make, or like I'm humble about you know how much more time I have to do things than other people. That's not the concept. The idea of humility that we're talking about is this idea that if you want to be able to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve, you have to be able to put in the time, the effort, the commitment, and the energy to make sure, over a prolonged and persistent period of time, to make sure you actually get ready to be whatever it is you want to be. And that comes basically fundamentally down to character. If you have the belief, the drive, and the nature or attitude that continues to help propel you towards that consistent and perseverant work ethic, then you'll be able to go far. And basically, yeah, one of the biggest concepts they talked about with the All Blacks is the idea that at the end of the game, after they've had all their big debriefs, they've gotten everyone's input. The idea that, you know, everyone's connected and a part of this program, so they all have to make some form of effort to contribute. But at the end of the day, they have to sweep the sheds, and that means cleaning up and squeegeeing up all the mud and all the gauze and all the crap that's on the floor. And they do that themselves, not because that, you know, they can't hire cleaners to do that, not because that they can't, you know, for whatever reason, focus on anything else. The idea is that it helps build humility, because if you can help build humility in your personal life, in the small things you do, it has an on-flow effect when you're out in the field and your team needs you and they need that humility that you know you have deep inside. That's the difference. Yeah, you are the average. Oh, sorry. When it's time to shine, when things are at their worst and it's time to shine, when you're on the field and your team is under pressure and you have to perform, what will perform is not your will, it's your habits, it's the conditioning that's within you. Your ability to catch a ball and pass it doesn't come down to your belief that you're going to catch it. It comes down to how well you've practiced, so that becomes an automatic process. And at the end of the day, that only comes from perseverance, and perseverance only comes from character. So, wrapping up, build character, build humility, dominate the world, dominate your world, dominate your own income, never stop dreaming. Have a great day.